Welcome back. We're going to discuss part 3 today. Welcome back to the last relic. Let's get this show on the road. All right. So, first things first. Good news. We are finally monetized. 2,000 subscribers. Thank you, everybody. Monetized. We're getting this show on the road. Getting going. A lot of things to figure out on the YouTube side of things, but overall, I want to talk about part 3 and its possibilities. Okay. Yo, your scripture assembly, what's going on? I'm pulling up some stuff right now for part 3. But yeah, and by the way, Echo-Based Network did release a video out today questioning the actual amount of the Lego, what's it called? The Lego collection. Okay, the reason why that's important is because we don't know the actual numbers yet. Now, again, it kind of sucks that, when Crystal went to go check out the collection at the house, she kind of did like a rough estimate in her head, and then when did the due diligence, all that great stuff. But the real part that sucks is that we still haven't seen Brian's spreadsheet. Like we haven't seen what his spreadsheet was and how it laid out everything and what was the exact number. Now, 1,200 minifigs are still not accounted for on what they were and that is laid out on Echo-Based Network video, which they released today. So highly recommend you guys go watch it. I think it's around like 10 minutes long, something like that. Or maybe longer, I'm not sure, but it's a good video. Anyways, so I was going back and I was trying to see like the things that I missed, there's a lot of things I missed in this whole RecklessBen situation and Brian Mansell, like the whole, like since the beginning, right? What up, Rick P? It's good to see you. But the things that I missed. So I was going back, I was checking out on Twitter, and you guys know I freaking hate Twitter, X, whatever you call it. I'm barely on there. It's even funny because like I like reading the comments, seeing what's up. It kind of helps me stay accountable and seeing if I screwed up. And it like, even if they're like super negative or just completely hostile, doesn't really get to me. But there was a point where like people were calling out certain things, and oh my gosh, I kind of lost my train of thought. Nope. Lost my train of thought. Anyways, yeah, I just watched Civil Rights Lawyer 2. Oh yeah, awesome. Well, so if I remember, I'll get back to my point. Okay, but back in June 4th, what's up, Brick by Brick, frankly exposed. So back in June 4th, Meme Copium. This is where I found it. I don't know how many more people put it. Oh, when I was saying I hate X, and then I remember my train of thought. Like I think my first interview with Echo-Based Network, I said like something about Elon Musk saving Twitter, and then everybody like just started freaking cutting me down, right? And I'm like, dude, I don't know the whole thing. From what people are telling me now is that he saved Twitter and then he just made it suck in a different way. That's as far as I know. So I'm not the guy to understand what's going on X, but I was looking over everything and I went back and I came across Meme Copium. And in June 4th, if you guys don't remember that date, why that's important, that's when bricksandminifigs put out a memo or a statement that they're cutting ties with Josh and Brandon, right? That's what they did. But he also, Meme Copium put this up, his statement on June 4th on his Twitters. Bricksandminifigs has offered to settle with Brian and fired Brandon and Josh. However, this only came to light after police body cam leak revealed what Joshua was saying with the American Fork Police, including a call with the CEO, Eamon. Now, the next two parts, this is the real important part. The idea that Eamon/Bam hadn't seen this issue until now is a bold-faced lie and damage control in light of police body cam leaks. Furthermore, here's where it gets juicy. RecklessBen has said the next part of the video will include proof of false flag calls to the American Fork Police Department of BAM employees impersonating Ben, sending in bomb and other threats. That, and then he goes on to say, while it's great that Brian could be made whole by this offer, the lawsuit isn't over, and the corruption in BAM and the American Fork Police Department still needs to be answered for, which he is correct. And going off the statement, yeah, like there's something in part 3 that's really damning against Bricks and Minifigs, because their whole, like, I think from what I could tell, the whole RICO thing is because they believe that RecklessBen made bomb threats. They believe that he did, like, threaten people's lives or other Bricks and Minifigs lives, whatever. Now, here's the crazy thing. If I were a betting man and I had to pick between these 4 people, these 4 scumbags, Matt McNeff, Ammon McNeff, Joshua Johnson, and Brandon, first the toss-up would be Brandon and Josh, but I'd probably think Josh, if this actually happened, he would either be the one that's impersonating or forcing other Bricks and Minifigs employees to impersonate Ben so that he could get away with something, because he's the one that called in and said that from the body cam footage that freaking RecklessBen had heroin and all this stuff. So keeping up with this after July 31st, right? We were already supposed to have the hearing yesterday, but they pushed it back to the 31st. After the 31st, when he wins this, because I do believe he'll win it, he'll be able to put out part 3. And one video that on the RecklessBen channel that I think everybody should rewatch, and even just to get a little bit more views, but to be reminded of some of the things that RecklessBen said, because he kind of went over it very fast, is the I got Bricks and Minifigs leaked email. There's a lot of details there of the email and how they are navigating the situation, and some statements that RecklessBen has made. He said that very quickly there's at least 6 parts. He might have videos for 6 different parts of this entire fiasco. So yeah, go watch that video. But again, from meme compilation, Copium, RecklessBen had in part 3 will have proof, according to meme Copium, that Joshua Johnson or Bricks and Minifigs as a whole forced or made employees pretend to be Ben and calling in threats, and obviously manipulating the law or manipulating some police department to go after Ben in more defamatory ways, right? So, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Medusa is that I'm just reading from the meme Copium and his statement. Okay, Ben never claimed they impersonated Ben and sent false emails to themselves. I know, but I'm going off meme Copium. But from what is going around a little bit, which hasn't made big news yet, is that he has proof that somebody impersonated him. Whether he has claimed or not, I don't know. Again, there's so much information out there. There's so many things going on that I have no idea what their goal is, what every person has said in detail yet, because I wasn't able to find, or maybe I just overlooked it or didn't hear it properly when he said what's going to be in part 3 or not. But feel free to correct me. And again, this is from Meme Copium on X, June 4th. You could see his post over there on X. Okay. Regardless, I think part 3 is like remember how damning the part 2 was? Like, Bricks and Minifigs didn't try to silence him after he put out the first part, right? So they've been doing this case for around 2 years. They didn't try to, or from as far as we know, even if they didn't try to, at least they didn't succeed in trying to silence the first video, even the second video, and even a few videos after that. Then now they pushed really hard on trying to make sure that part 3 doesn't come out. So part 3, I think, is probably going to be the most important video throughout all this. That's going to lead up to other things and put a lot of things in question against Bricks and Minifigs. But yeah, I told you this meme copium you are referencing is just fabricating things. This meme copium channel is fabricating and stretching the truth. They cannot be held at face value. I got you, man. I'm looking over a lot of different things. I can't say everything that I know particularly, and the knowledge that I have completely, but from what I'm seeing on X, on the internet, people are commenting about part 3 at least clearing Ben's name on these threats, from what I know. And again, the lawyers, he's given all the footage to them, so they have all this footage that they could look over. And what he has to do is he has to present his side of the story to the court to release the gag order. It's pretty simple. Okay, like, I'm reporting what I saw. Simple. All right. Anyways, we're talking about the RecklessBen part 3 and what is to come. Bro, is this a movie review channel? Yeah, I do movie reviews. I do actually whatever the hell I want to do. Movie reviews, talk about cars, talk about life, give stories. And I used to own a Bricks and Minifigs, and I was one of the people that got screwed. So there you go. So we're going to cover this a little bit. In the future, I might not cover any real news, but this is very close to home with me. So that's what I'm talking about. And I want to keep the story alive. Good evening, Tony. It's good to see you. But yeah, and Salt and Exile, what up? But anyways, so, and Aaron, it's good to see you. I watched full breakdown of the American Fork redacted body cam footage that police department is getting sued in civil court big time. Well, yeah, like you saw RecklessBen. There was a 3-hour live stream, or I guess live vlog, about these people gathering peaceful protest outside of the American Fork Police Department. And you may or may not saw RecklessBen there. You may or may not. There was a dude that looked very, very much like him. But yeah, they were like the people in Utah and American Fork. American Fork is somewhat of a small town. If you guys never been to Utah, American Fork, like, yeah, it's not that big of a town. Okay. But regardless, like, people came out, and I thought it was a pretty good, like, a lot of people showed up, and I think it was like, I have friends that still live in Utah, and they tell me, like, people of the Mormon faith are super pissed with Bricks and Minifigs and the people involved, that everybody's pissed with the police department. They're looking into city council. There's been multiple city council meetings where the citizens have gone up and asked for everybody who was involved to be investigated and to be removed from their positions of power. So if you like, it's on YouTube for a lot of them. I don't know if all of them are there, but you can go check out those city council meetings and the news that you get going on in Utah. But yeah, so part 3. I don't know exactly what's gonna be in part 3. There's a lot of speculations, but one thing for sure is that Bricks and Minifigs doesn't want it out. You know, I could guarantee you they're gonna try to put a second or some other gag order in place after RecklessBen wins this hearing. So, and he seems pretty confident. You know. But by the way, if whoever is if there's any bullying in the chat, please be respectful and just chill. All right, we're talking over RecklessBen. We're talking about let's put the hate to the people who deserve it. All right, let's do that. All right. So one thing that's going on is it's somewhat separate. Like RecklessBen is involved, but the whole American Fork Police Department thing is a separate issue from the Brian Mansell for sure. As a whole, obviously they're involved because of what RecklessBen was doing, but now that we're seeing the corruption side of things, it's become much bigger than just Lego, just Brian Mansell and RecklessBen. So the American Fork side is it's a highlight of how much trust that has been taken away from the people towards the law enforcement. And there is supposed to be a pretty trustworthy relationship there. Obviously, they're the police. You want to rely on them, and they do all this bullcrap that they play differently here, that they're just gonna take one side instead of investigating. You know, their job is to investigate. That it's the simple thought that we all know: innocent until proven guilty. They just picked a side that they thought may or may not have been innocent, and be like, well, this one seems easier, so we're gonna go after this kid. It was ridiculous. What's up, Aaron? Hey, Relic and chat, by the way, 07. What do you mean 07? Yeah. There is new info just about every day. This dispute is getting more complex every day. Well, yeah, because there's corruption involved. By the way, Spirit Warrior, welcome in. Have you seen the videos of American Fork Police Department doing the things to citizens? Some of those were a bit scary. Hell yeah, I saw a few. I saw the ones that doesn't have to do with RecklessBen. That they were these citizens were scared and wanted their help, and then instead of going after the people that were, I guess, the perpetrators, they just went after the person that made the phone call. There's a lot of crazy stuff, and I'm glad that it's being investigated. Hopefully in the future we'll get some more stuff on the American Fork Police Department, but so far we kind of got to go off of what's going on. And then the other side of things, the other problem is that some of the leaked body cam footage may or may not be usable in court because of some laws that this was a leak, somebody screwed up, but this wasn't supposed to be out. This was redacted previous because it was unrelatable or it wasn't useful. Obviously, we know it's useful. We saw the damn thing, but when something is leaked like that, then it's up in the air. It doesn't matter if people saw it or not. The courts decide on what can be used and what can't, from what I understand. Yeah, the other thing was, by the way, I keep shouting out this channel, Lego Empire. They're probably the only or one of the only Lego YouTubers that are really going hard and covering the story. I think he might be the only one that's going really hard. There was a situation where a fan, and I talked about this on Toy Bounty Hunters, there was a fan of RecklessBen that tried to get him out. Okay, try to help him out. And his claim, and again, good intentions, but you gotta leave it up to them. It's important for us to keep talking and keep this story alive. But the way he did things, it wasn't it just wasn't gonna work out. So what he did was he was subscribed to Patreon, and by his claim is that he's investing or supporting this creator, and he's supposed to get certain content in a timely manner, but now they're preventing this restraining order is preventing him from seeing the next part of RecklessBen, the next content that he's supposed to put out. Obviously, it didn't work out. They were just yeah, no, that's not gonna fly. But good intentions. So there are, again, it's great to help, but remember, The point is, if you really do want to help keep the story alive, make sure we remember that Brian Mansell is the one that lost his Lego, and RecklessBen is the one that's helping. RecklessBen is in the situation, and we got to make sure that everybody that we can shed some light on the situation, that we are very vocal about it. It's pretty simple. Okay, there was a few people that, like I told you guys, that I've been getting DMs. Some are very hostile, some are very much on the side of Bricks and Minifigs. I still think it's crazy. I'm not surprised, but I think it's crazy with all the evidence that people are still on the side of Bricks and Minifigs. You'd be surprised of how many people are like, nope, Bricks and Minifigs is innocent. Like, screw RecklessBen and Brian Mansell. These are the thugs. These are the liars. And I'm like, that's insane. But yeah, like, so I've been getting messages, and they have been very interesting. And a lot of them about calling me a coward and all this stuff, and even in the comments, which, you know, like, if they don't want to watch all the videos, that's fine, you know. And I thank some of you guys for going to bat for me, but you don't have to. And it's come to many points where I'm going to reiterate once again, like, I tried twice going after these people. I tried putting out my story before I even knew about the RecklessBen story. And unfortunately, nobody picked it up. And again, I didn't go to every YouTuber. I went to the Lego community. Okay? And I didn't go to everybody in the Lego community. I tried to hit the top guys. I tried to go and talk to the people of who I knew about, right? Of the YouTubers that I knew existed at the time. And at this point, I don't have the money to sue them, but I am having things in the works where, like, I am like, I'll be able to prove a lot more side of my story. It's one of the reasons why I had Devin, one of my ex-employees, come out and be interviewed, and he was also worked for corporate and worked for a different owner. But I don't know when Camelot, shout out to Camelot 331, and I did do a live stream with Toy Bounty Hunters where we went over my termination letter, and I sent him my termination letter as well that I got from corporate, and he'll be going either doing a live stream or doing a video. So make sure you go check out Camelot whenever he decides to do that stuff. You know, I always enjoy his videos. I always enjoy his takes, and he always puts a little funny spin to it. But yeah, Ben is also being sued. And here's the thing. I put this out before when I heard that, Ben put out multiple threats. So I follow a few YouTubers that, I don't know if you guys follow them or know about them. I like people like Critical Drinker, Nerdrotic, Geeks and Gamers. You know, I follow the Spoiler Kings. I follow quite a bit of people, and especially the two that could come to mind first is Nerdrotic and Critical Drinker. There was like a minute there that a few different channels popped up, and they were blowing up, but they were using AI and using the voice of these content creators to make reviews. Okay? And I pointed out, like, well, RecklessBen, with all the stuff with what he does, he probably has a lot of people that hate him, regardless if if he's in the right. They probably hate him because he got involved in their life and exposed a lot of things, right? So who knows if somebody was using AI, somebody was using some sort of voice over and impersonating Ben, and so then a lot of people at Bricks and Minifigs actually believe that it was Ben. Okay? Because as far as we can tell, these guys don't understand the internet at all. They contradict each other. They go on live streams. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. They keep lying. They keep saying they don't know about certain things. And so they don't know that this is going to be for eternity in people's minds and on the internet. It's just never going to go away. So I could totally believe that they believe it was Ben's voice, but I don't believe that Ben actually did that stuff. That's just me personally. I don't believe that. Like, there's no point. And again, the first person to actually make a threat or almost make a threat was Josh Johnson when he said, like, you know, I'm going to shoot somebody. You know, that's nuts. That's crazy. But yeah, the relic kids need gold twos. Thank you. Maybe they do. Hopefully I can brush their teeth and it'll be fine. Oh, by the way, yeah, I said in the beginning, we are officially monetized. You know, thank you everybody for the support. It is awesome. We're at 2,000 subscribers. By this morning we were monetized, which is awesome. So what is it? Super chats are good to go. People were asking about that, and I don't know how everything works, like the members only stuff, and you know, I'll be asking other people. But yeah, we got there. So I thank everybody for listening in, even if my content, I'm like a little bit all over the place. Like, remember, I'm freaking tired, and it's hot in here. I'm sweating. Does Devin come back anytime soon? You and him together have such chill vibes. Yeah, he's awesome. Dude, he doesn't care about social media. And we talk like at least every week. We used to talk every day. But there might be some other people that will actually come on. And I will invite them on and hopefully get some more information. But there's some people that can't, that were very much involved. Because, for instance, I have an employee that he wants to get into law enforcement. And he's been going that route for the past few years, or a past year at least, I think. And he can't get involved in situations like this, unfortunately, you know. But I don't hold anything against him. Like, that's just how it goes. Okay, Lucifer Valentine is another person been exposed, and he was linked to murder. Ben did a similar thing, that he tricked him into signing a contract. Then Ben sued him. Okay. Yeah. No, I get that. And it might be like, if he's getting sued now, it might be people capitalizing and believing that Bricks and Minifigs could win. So that is a possibility. I totally understand that other people might sue him, because that's what happens when somebody else gets sued and then they've been involved with other situations. Then it's like, the more lawsuits you have against the person, it looks more clear to the court that, like, this person has wronged a bunch of different people. Okay, but I'm not saying that that's how the court will see it. I'm just saying that, like, if I saw somebody that had like 30 lawsuits on them, I'm like, dude, okay, like, these 30 lawsuits didn't come out of nowhere. What's up? You know what I mean? I'd have questions. But it also just might be people capitalizing, which I think is what's going on. But yeah, it's the haunted house thing. Again, I've seen a lot of the videos. I believe that haunted house thing, like, people wanted that dude in jail for the things he did, because he was bragging that he, like, everything he was doing wasn't actually legal. Yeah, don't F with birds, by the way. But yeah, so this part 3, again, we should, up until the 31st, whatever you guys can do to find out a good, honest way to, and it could be as simple as just watching other videos, just to make sure that it's still in the algorithm, that the RecklessBen story is still out there, that people are actually following, because it's been quiet. You know, it's alive, but it's a lot quieter. Like this Brandon and Josh guy, they have been doing a really good job at making sure their name is being used less and less. And Ammon is like the main focus. I think everybody's pointing out the CEO and the president of the company, Ammon. Rightfully so, but the thing is, we got to remember who these guys are. Like I stated this before. It's totally possible that Brandon went in that location, took the Legos to Eugene, and didn't tell Josh, or maybe most likely told Josh, but probably didn't tell corporate about it. Okay? Regardless, it's still stupid that they didn't keep it in-house. And like, it still baffles me that they didn't go sit freaking Crystal and Brian down and being like, all right, confirm these numbers. How much does Crystal owe you? Crystal, is that correct? Awesome. Okay, Brian, we'll make you whole. Here's the money. All right, Crystal, show me where the sets are, show me where that money is, because I just spent this money on him, so now you owe me that money. You owe me at least the equivalent to these funds. And then if she can't find them, then there needs to be an investigation. This all could have been so damn simple. So simple. You know, even in my situation with selling the store, it could have been just simple as conversations. That's all it needed to be. Just conversations and seeing how we could benefit one another. That's how negotiation is supposed to be. Right? A negotiation, a good one, both parties don't come out happy but come out satisfied. All right? Because you're not going to get everything you want. But it should be like there should be an accord. Okay? But they decided to just freaking put it out there. They decided to freaking just try to destroy this dude's life. And yes, the dollar amount is important, but regardless if it's 200 or 100, both are life-changing money. And it was, the purpose for it was for Brian to help out his dad who was sick. Like, I'm sorry, but that's a pretty damn good reason to try to get some money and try to sell your collection. I guess most people don't want to sell their collection. They are collectors. I don't know if that was their intention in the first place, but, you know, like this is ridiculous that all this is going, because again, I can't even think of what the goal is for Bricks and Minifigs after all this. Like, this is the perfect way to destroy a $400 million company. Like this I'm gonna show you guys how stupid this is. This is how you destroy a $400 million company. First, you create a bunch of lies for the customer. You allow them to work with their store, their local store, and then sell them a collection on consignment. And then as soon as you find out, you go and raid the whole thing. Because instead of money and sales, you want to keep those sets for yourself for some reason. And then, you know, you're like, maybe you feel bad. You go and talk to him. Cool, you talk to him. But then you send out these freaking retards, aka Josh and Brandon. And these guys start freaking tripping on themselves with everything they say. Like, remember, Josh kept saying like, oh yeah, we have the Legos, but we don't have them. We have them, but we don't have them. Then he got pissed, started cussing out RecklessBen, saying, no, you have the Legos. And then trying to force RecklessBen to sue him, because they knew that they couldn't sue because they were being the ones that were being dumb, but RecklessBen was doing everything right. But if he sued them, which again, go watch the RecklessBen video, there will be a lot more benefit for Bricks and Minifigs, Josh Johnson, Brandon Best. Okay. You do all that, and then you allow everything to be on social media. You allow this to keep continuing. You, like, oh man, I wish I could be more articulate in how stupid this all is. I honestly am in shock still. And again, part 3. Here's the thing. Here's one of the only reasons we might never get part 3. After he wins the hearing, let's say, like right then and there, Bricks and Minifigs, Joshua Johnson, and Brandon Best be like, all right, we want to come and we want to settle with you. Okay? Because if they go to trial, it would be insane. It would be the dumbest move any company has ever made to take this particular story to trial. All right, well, there's 3 different elements. So Bricks and Minifigs will want to settle. Brian is not the kind of guy who will settle just to have everything cool. Like, he wants justice. He's not going to cater to the corporate side, but he's also the kind of guy that will give that up to help somebody. If Brian can get his Lego back, he's like, all right, I won't release any more videos, because you know Bricks and Minifigs doesn't want them to say anything more. They don't want any more defamatory videos. They don't want that stuff. So that might, like, in terms of settling, that might be one of the big things they ask for, like no more videos, take down your videos, whatever. Okay, and for Ben to help Brian now, he most likely will do it, but I don't think Brian would allow Ben to do that. He'd be like, no, we're in this together, we need full justice, and that's that. You're gonna allow all this to be put out. You're gonna allow all this to also like keep going, but we're no longer going to be in court. Like, we're going to put out a statement that you did eventually settle. Boom. And so then, like, but that's the only way I see that we wouldn't get part 3 is if they settle to help out Brian, if Brian accepted that from Ben. But I don't see how all 3 of them could agree at least with anything from this point. Well, Xeon Gaming can't wait till creeps and mini scams is out of business. Hell yeah. True that. Okay, why else would they include a RICO for a civil case that claims 1.3 million damages? That's 3.9 million. Also, they have this whole thing about any creators doing, if you see the statement, the form, any creators getting any profit from this, so they might go after creators as well. But yeah, Lightning Rod 7, welcome. Okay, do things differently, we take care of our own. Yeah, Legal Wars 2026, Lego Mafia, cool. American Foreign Police is saying that RecklessBen is anti-Mormon, Iranian Muslim, Russian spy. That is ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Again, they're just freaking full-blown dishonest. Look, if anything, RecklessBen, he's cool with the Mormons. He's cool with people from many different religions. Okay, he doesn't take any animosity, and he's in part 2. He pointed it out very quickly, which it seems like a lot of people are ignoring. Is that, like, why is this police department protecting bad Mormons who give the good ones a bad name? Because it doesn't matter what you believe, where you go, what community you're part of. There's always good and bad people in both. You know, it's very simple. My dad always told me that a church is a hospital, and everybody in there is sick. So you don't go to a hospital to find healthy people. You go to a hospital to find people that are trying to recover, trying to get better. So you're gonna find, when you go to a church, you're gonna find a lot of people who are hurt, who are trying to better their lives. That's why they're there. And some people who are just pieces of garbage, and they just want the name. That's it. Pretty freaking simple. I was joking about the Iranian Muslim. So okay. You want to know something funny? Like, including Devin, everybody gets on my case because I don't text. I call people. I like calling people. And they're like, why do you call? Because it's like, I can't freaking tell emotion through a text, through messages, all that much. Because, Devin spoke about it in the interview we conducted. He talked about how I'm just rough when it comes to text messages. Like, it's for me, it's just for information. It's like, get this done. Got it? Cool. That's it. Don't mean nothing by it. No hate, but that's it. You know, like, it's as I was told by my employees, horrific. Dunagun, they might stop Ben, but this spread so far beyond, they can never stop the army of YouTubers going after them. Yeah. And again, I know probably all of you are sick of hearing me say this. The Lego community needs to be way more vocal. All the Lego YouTubers with $1 million subscribers plus, they are not doing anything about this. They might put out one freaking video, and they're like, we want to be freaking positive and all this bullcrap. That's why, like big props to Lego Empire, man. Big props to that fool. He is on top of this stuff. Okay, he's getting every freaking detail, and he's actually tying it back to the situation. He's not just like, look at these guys, they're scumbags. It's like, yeah, but remind the people that RecklessBen and Brian are still in this lawsuit. Remind the people that this is the story. And, you know, like, and not that it doesn't need to be highlighted, like the corruption in the American Foreign Police Department, but still bring it back to how this all started, who is involved, what is going on. It's pretty simple thing. And some YouTubers who are keeping the story alive, they sometimes forget that. I forget that. But the Lego community needs to be way more vocal, and I will never stop calling them cowards, ever. The ones who like, and it's not that they need to get my I guess, approval or anything. But, and I'm never gonna put out like the people who didn't answer my emails, because I see it as like, I'm not trying to ruin anybody's career. Okay, like I'm just pointing out, like, I think receipts are a really important thing. I have them, and it's not so that I can use them in the future, but like nobody was willing to take up this story, and there's still a lot of people that still want to be involved with Bricks and Minifigs. So that's the other part where I wanted to talk about that. Look, Bricks and Minifigs might not be dead after this. To us, the internet, yeah, but eventually people are going to start shopping again at Bricks and Minifigs. Eventually, there's going to be a new CEO. Eventually, there's always going to be something new that's like a forgiveness thing. So, or even if there is no forgiveness, it goes back to who's not informed. Like this has been going on this news has been going on for like a month. Let me see. Yeah, it hasn't even been 2 months. Okay, that RecklessBen has put out this video. Hasn't even been 2 months. Okay. So, and the story's already dying down. And like people have told me that the internet has the attention span of a goldfish. Got it. But the overall arc of what I'm trying to get at is that Bricks and Minifigs, they're still gonna have their informed people. Like almost everybody I know, even people that know that I'm on YouTube, they don't know about this story. People have their own lives. Totally get that. But it's up to us to really point this out. And that's why I was the happiest I've been was with the community in American Fork and the Mormon church over there, because they have been very vocal. They went out to their city council. They're doing protests. They're doing what they can. I've never been a big fan of protests personally, at least here in the U.S. because, well, like protests like on the side of the road in front of the building that is the culprit. Totally get that. I've always hated like those people who did protests in the middle of the road or stopping traffic. I'm like, dude, you're not even hurting the people that you're supposed to be protesting against. And in my mind is like, if you're in the middle of the road and there's a green light and I have a car, that means go for me. You're jaywalking. So it doesn't make sense to me for you to stand in the middle of the road trying to stop innocent people and like to hear your message. I think it just might make them hate you. But they're doing it the right way. They're right there on the police department, right in the corner on the curb, and people could see him, and they're letting them know about this corrupt freaking law enforcement police department. Yeah, even if you stopped all the videos on Bam, kill the message. All right. And Doom Sponge Dinosaurs, you're here. What's up? I don't know, man. Bam's so done. Everyone knows now, though. No, I get that. But again, like I have seen bad people get away with so many things. So I used to sell sports cars for a living when I was around 22, I think. And one of the reasons I got into that was so that I can meet a lot of people that were financially successful, but I can pick and choose who I get to listen to, right? Because it's very rare you can just come across a rich person that wants to talk to you. Well, if you go where rich people are, more likely than not, you're going to get to meet a whole lot of different characters, and you'll eventually find somebody that has close to your same moral value. You know, and it's never going to be completely equal, but you can actually trust a person or not. There's so many people that they were publicly defamed and ruined, and they were still found a way to survive and keep going and find forgiveness when they didn't deserve it. It sucks, man. So that's why I say, like, you know, Bricks and Minifigs was able to get away with all this till now. And then when the trial is over, we're all going to celebrate, you know, when the right person, you know who the right person is, when the right person wins, truth prevails, great, Awesome. And then right after that, what's going to happen? All right, we got our justice. Let's move on to the next story. That's going to happen. Okay. Oh, you know, like, there's a bricks and minifigs. Like, oh, let me see what's going on over there. Let me see if they're going to go out of business. And then you're going to meet some good people that have nothing to do with the story. They just happen to be one of the owners. You know what? I don't want to support bricks and minifigs, but I'll support you, man. You're cool. And then the company's going to keep growing. But, like, nobody... It's that thing of, like, because I can't see it, I can't feel it. Like, it doesn't matter to me. It's like the whole... like, seeing video footage of somebody committing a crime versus just hearing it. If you hear it, you're like, man, that sucks. But if you see it, it leaves a massive imprint on you. You know? So if you go in and you're not seeing the owners of bricks and minifigs getting their dough, you're only seeing these owners having support from the community. You're not gonna feel that. You're not gonna feel that the bad guys getting their money. It just ain't gonna happen. So there's a lot of psychological bullcrap that's gonna happen. But yeah, like, that's one of the things that, not that I want people, like innocent people, to fail. But yeah, Bricks and Minifigs company is a terrible company at this point, right? Bad reputation. But who knows? Who freaking knows if they will actually be dead? I think it's actually gonna be up to every individual Bricks and Minifigs owner. They're the ones that are actually gonna know. General Skullface, what's going on? What did I miss? A whole lot of me rambling. That's what you missed, dude. I filed a motion to rename the Streisand effect to the BAM effect. All in motion. Spanning over 800,000 acres of remote high desert in Tooele County, the base was established in 1942. Okay, I probably missed whatever you guys are talking about. Area 52, I guess. But General Skullface, well, we were, just to catch anybody up who is just tuning in, I started off talking about, like, what to expect in part 3. The main thing that people like Medusa said, it's not super reliable, but I'm just going off what I saw on X on June 4th. I'm gonna point this out again. June 4th, Meme Copium put out a post. And remember, June 4th is when they actually put out a statement that they cut ties between Josh and Brandon. Bricks and Minifigs cut ties between Josh and Brandon. But they also said that part 3, that they stated that RecklessBen is going to show proof that Bricks and Minifigs employees impersonated him with all the threats that they're claiming that Ben did against Bricks and Minifigs, and that he'll have proof of that. So that's pretty much what we talked about for a good minute. But yeah, holy crap, Quiznos? We're talking about Quiznos? Are we talking about Blockbuster after? What the freak? Is Quiznos still alive, by the way? That'd be crazy. But yeah, free Ben brick by brick. And again, one thing I really am curious about, Galloway, nice to see you. The franchise should just start a new co-op and call it Brick by Brick. Dude, that might be an idea. But I still want to see Brian Mansell's his own inventory count, his spreadsheet, and his list of all the sets he had and the minifigures, because we don't have every single price of the minifigures. But here's something if you guys want to go look into. Bricks and Minifigs does have an eBay account, okay, that they sell higher end items, and a lot of them is Star Wars. So if you go look at eBay, and allegedly they have an account, because I have to actually confirm that, my bad, but they have sold, or multiple Bricks and Minifigs for sure, don't know about corporate, they have sold higher end items on eBay, like the $500 Ahsoka Tano. Okay, but yeah, Chris Lancaster 1000. Where's the Quiznos near where? Oh, there's a Quiznos near your work. Nice. And Gamers Republic, again, welcome in you two. Is Ben allowed to release part 3? No. So okay, the hearing was supposed to be yesterday, and got pushed back to July 31st or June 31st. June 31st. or June 30th, whatever. June 30th, and then after that, if he wins that hearing, because the gag order is pretty much like everybody needs to stop talking about this. Remember, Coffee Silla's video did come out later after he talked to everybody, before the gag order, from what I believe, from what I know, from what I could tell. But when he wins this hearing, then he'll have free reign to do some stuff, to put out part 3. And who knows, he may put out multiple parts at the same time, just to make sure that there's no other gag order that will come his way. You know, Spirit War Blockbuster, there was the days when a trip to the store for the least release was always an adventure. Yeah, and you actually watched it instead of scrolled for 3 hours, right? So there's double dipping, in other words, is what you're saying. Yeah. No, Ben has he has that in place. June 30th. Yeah, June 30th. So that's why it's so important to, like, at least be vocal up until this date, okay? And then we got new news. And when I mean be vocal, it's like keep it alive, because we're getting a bunch of little details from other sources, from other people's actions, but we're not getting like the core information a whole lot, other than looking at the court case forms or the lawsuit forms, which again, at least I'm not a lawyer, so it's up to my interpretation. I've been going on Toy Bounty Hunter's channel to look over a bunch of stuff, but yeah, it's actually kind of hard to keep up with all those little details, especially when they're not directly connected to helping the cause of what RecklessBen and Brian Mansell are doing. That goes beyond Lego. It's more about freedom of speech. It's more about sticking up for the little guy, helping those around you, being actually a good pillar in the community, and not taking screwing over people just for a buck, you know. But yeah, Sobe Lisbeth, dude, I remember. Hello, it's good to see you. That just reminded me of Sobe Drinks. I love Sobe Drinks. I miss them. That's one company that I would love to bring back over Blockbuster, over all that stuff. Sobe Drinks, oh, so good. Bam Cal beat Ammon and Bam franchising. You want to know something funny? So Camelot 331, he'll be making either a video or a live stream. I sent him my termination letter. In my termination letter, so it was the Messers that beat Ammon. It says, "Dear Mr. and Mrs. Messer," to me. Meaning, most likely, allegedly, they just copy and paste a lot of the termination letter to multiple different people that they're trying to screw over. Also meaning that they are very skilled and have done this quite a lot. But yeah, you'll get to see that soon. So stay tuned to Camelot's channel. He's an awesome guy. Super cool dude. Very funny. Well, it depends if part 4 is done. When part 3 goes to YouTube, part 4 will be in Patreon. Maybe, yeah. From what I understand, if it's already on Patreon, then it could still be released on YouTube, because it would be just unlisted on YouTube, so it's technically posted. Just correct me if I'm wrong. Gamer for Nintendo, that gag is unlawful. Actually, not necessarily. It's the gag order isn't for him to never speak about it again. It's just that the court is saying, we heard Bricks and Minifigs side of things. Now everybody needs to shut up until I get RecklessBen's side of things, which has always been a lawful thing. Now, if there's some information that I don't know about that makes it unlawful, you let me know, Gamer for Nintendo or anybody else. But so far, it's a pretty simple thing of like, hey, I heard your story, and so to avoid any other like miscommunication and bullcrap throughout, I need to hear the other party's story. All right, so that there's no bias. Like, there could be many reasons for it, but yeah. Lightning Rod, Benjamin Paul Schneider, leader of the Lego Wars. Ben is still filming also for the BAM dispute. Ben does this often with his other series while he films while it is public. Cool. It is interesting to hear different lawyers on YouTube talking about their area of expertise and discussing the American Force Police Department video along with Ben's point of view. Yeah, because they all, like, so obviously every lawyer has to pass the bar for their state, and so they understand the law, but then they go specialize in some area, and all of them have a different way of thinking or doing things, but all have the same understanding of the law. But I don't know, it's very, very interesting. It's really cool to see like these professionals kind of crossing paths of like their thinking of how they would approach it, how they help Ben or tell Bricks and Minifigs to stop doing certain things so that they can actually win the case. The one that I think is most interesting, that like he doesn't make a whole lot of long videos from what I could see, is Legal Mindset, because he actually was a corporate lawyer. Like he knows the kind of bullcrap that corporations try to pull so that they don't get in trouble. And from what I could tell is that they didn't do a very good job. So Legal Mindset has done, like, he's defended a lot of corporations, you know. He has had plenty of time to do part 4. Either way, as soon as it ends, TRO ends, he needs to immediately use part 3 before they shut him down. Yeah, again, and Wasp Warrior, welcome. Thanks for coming. 1983. Joshua Johnson totally unhinged in civil rights lawyer part 3 video. Oh man, I'm excited to see it because you guys have no idea how truly insane that man is. Like, I'm not doing it justice with all the little stories I have. Like, there's stories I even heard about, but I don't really know. Like, I wasn't there. Okay? About how he treats certain members of his family and things like that. I'm going to get into what I know. One thing, so if you understand retail, you need to understand the psychology. Like, most people are right-handed, right? So when you walk into a store, the natural inclination is to go to the right. If you go to your local Lego store, like official store, and we will talk about if Lego is involved or not, because I've gone over some of the documents and I'll share that with you guys of their quote-unquote so-called involvement or uninvolvement. Because Lego did not really put out a statement. But when I explain it, you guys will get it. So when you go into a Lego store, what you'll see is really expensive sets. Nice sets. And so the psychology is, Toy Bounty here, what's up? Dude, Rick P with the super chat. Great job, Rick. Like, happy to help. Dude, my man. First super chat ever, dude. MVP. I'm gonna put a like right there. MVP, dude. So, the psychology is like, oh, this product is really expensive, so we're not gonna buy anything at this store. And then what happens is then you get a lot of little sets that are like $20, $15, stuff like that, and you're like, oh shoot, actually these ones aren't too bad. So now your brain is already thinking like, no, there's affordable stuff here. That's totally fine. And then it gets into really high-end items. Usually it's Star Wars, UCS Star Wars sets, or like idea sets, or like model plane type sets, like the Concorde. And then it will get to like more of the kids themes, because those ones are the ones that are going to sell the most, right? And when you get those, you like, your brain is already like almost thinking that it's already cheap, and it's just a to-go item practically. So you'll get like Clone Wars battle pack, you'll get a little Ninjago dragon for like $15-20, you know, for your kid or whatever. So there's always going to be a sale, even if you didn't have the intention to go and buy anything. More likely, because of the layout, there's a sale. Now the entrance is really important. So when it's called the decompression zone, okay, we talked a lot about this when I used to work for GNC and train managers. The decompression zone, when you enter something, the customer needs to feel like all their problems left, you know. So when you go shopping, you go to a mall, there's a process of getting there, right? You load everything in the car, get in the car, go through traffic, get to the mall, and by that time you're pissed because maybe kids started crying, maybe you don't have kids, maybe there was road rage, and maybe, you know, somebody cut you off, maybe you broke, like hit the brakes too hard, something happened that was more stressful than the excitement of getting out of the house and going somewhere. So by the time you get there, if there is no decompression zone, if they don't feel like they've entered into a new place that they could enjoy, then what happens is they'll look in, be there for 5 to 10 minutes, and leave. That's probably happened to you guys where you went to a store that you liked, that is maybe a collector store, whatever it is, and they didn't have a nice decompression zone. So you kind of just made a loop and left. Okay, that decompression zone is designed for you to stay there. I am Relic. All right, lightning rod, Mr. What's up? So, by the way, Memorial Rifle Range, good to see you. So, when I was explaining this to the manager and why it was important, the reasoning why I had the store in a certain layout, Joshua Johnson pretty much behind my back was just like talking crap on me to the entire staff. Like, everything that he says is a lie, everything that he claims is all BS. And then I'm like, no, look, let me show you what companies actually studied this, what retail, what brick and mortars actually designed and have a successful store just based on the layout and marketing, not even that they have good items. And this guy, like I don't know if I pointed this out. I've pointed so many things about him. Like, he'll take phone calls and just lie and harass people online or over the phone in front of you, man. Like, I caught him. The first time I knew I couldn't trust him. I already knew I couldn't trust him just by seeing him, but first, like, solidified time was when he was talking over the phone in front of everybody, and for some reason he was taking calls from potential franchisees, and one of them asked him, and by the way, he puts it on speakerphone sometimes, which is insane. So one of them asked him if there's ever been a store that wasn't successful or shut down. He's like, nope, every store has been successful. There hasn't been one. And I looked at him, I'm like, and at this point there was over 100 locations, and I was like, dude, I could name you 5. There's no effing way that you just said that to somebody who's trying to become a franchisee. But I stayed silent. I was like, damn. All right. Yeah. And he's a massive, massive prick. Like, when I asked him for the inventory list, he said, like, he's like, how's that going to help you? Like, what will that do for you? It doesn't matter if you get the inventory list or not. And I told him, like, it will just give me comfort, man. Because Brandon told me the inventory list matched mine. And then later on, Ammon told me that it didn't. And it was way less than what I counted and what my employees counted. So it would just give me a peace of mind. That's it. And to this day, never gotten an inventory list. Same with Crystal. Apparently, Crystal stated in her lawsuit that she's never gotten an inventory list from Joshua, Brandon, or even Bricks and Minifigs. An inventory count. There's a ton of shops have a decompression zone. Yep. Josh is sus. Dude, he's not sus. He is full-blown pathetic, disgusting bastard. Wouldn't let cops into his house and was strangely obsessed with kids. I'm not alleging anything. It's just weird. I don't know. I'm not catching what you're putting down, brother. I don't know what's going about all that. I just know about the cops part. But yeah, Medusa and the fake smell of fresh baked bread pumped through the ventilation system. Talking about Hansel and Gretel. I saw that. This whole Lego war has been the most fascinating journey of events I've watched. It's riveting. It is. That poor Salt Lake boy accused of weapons, drink, spying, all lies. And by the way, Galloway, your profile pic, pretty solid, dude. Don't know what it is, but cool. And lightning rod. Is that like a sword of fire? Pretty cool. What I love about watching Josh Johnson, watching him make a fool of himself. Better be thought an idiot than to open your mouth and prove it. He proved it, and he continues to prove it. How many stores do you think have closed? Oh, do I think since then? I would say what I could guesstimate would probably be above 10. There's yeah, Punisher. Here, I got you. That's by Super X Apparel. If you like, go check out the Super X Apparel website. Pretty freaking awesome. The what's it called? Like, there was the platform Slack that allowed everybody who was an owner of a Bricks and Minifigs and corporate to communicate with each other, right? I used it. It's my logo and custom chibi mascot. Sick. I used it to mainly to be like, hey, I have these products that don't sell well in my store. I'm looking for these kind of sets. Anybody willing to trade, like trade certain sets that do well in their location, that don't do well in mine, and vice versa, stuff like that. So that's what I mainly used it for. And by the way, guys, like and subscribe. So that's mainly what I used it for. But people asked a lot of interesting questions, and I'm always been okay with stupid questions because I ask a lot of stupid questions. I prefer to ask stupid questions than to remain a stupid person, right? That's not a problem. But there was some that was like, it was so basic. It was like 1 + 1 = 2. And I'm like, I don't know if your store is going to be successful. And they would talk about the numbers and their sales that they made that month. And I'm just like, whoa, like it shouldn't be less than 30,000, which I had months that were less than 30,000, but they were very specific of why that happened. But it wasn't like an ongoing thing. So it was very interesting to see a lot of people's thoughts and perspectives and how they went about business. Okay. So that was very interesting. But back to Lego's statement that Lego has made or may not have made a statement. If you look at the lawsuit that Crystal has filed, Lego claims that they have no affiliations or with Bricks and Minifigs, which is true. They have no affiliation. And Bricks and Minifigs does say on their website that they're not affiliated with Lego, but it does say that they are an approved Lego reseller. Approved by who? And from the conversations that everybody's had, and one of the things that Crystal is claiming is that they were practically lied to because they thought that they had a contract with Lego. Okay. And again, by the time that they were kicked out, I don't know if they no longer had a contract, but I was also told that Bricks and Minifigs had a contract with Lego. And they showed me a bunch of different stuff that confirmed it. And I was like, okay. And then they would like give us a training. Hey, like when you post, and I'll tell you guys what I said on Toy Bounty Hunters, who was in the chat. And Highest Wu-Tang, what's up? No, who didn't what? No, you didn't. That's how I'm reading. But what did I say on Toy Bounty Hunters? What? Man, I needed some water. My brain is melting right now. I remember it has to do with Nintendo. So we always had to, if we're gonna put up a post or put up the Lego logo on the window, it had to be a certain dimension, had to be smaller. It couldn't look like Lego was promoting Bricks and Minifigs. We had to always look like we were promoting Bricks or Lego. Bricks and Minifigs had to look like they were promoting Lego, not the other way around, right? And so there was this one situation where so if you guys know that Lego has a contract with Nintendo, that's very common knowledge. And this guy he had, and I don't know if it was from Bricker Builds or I think it was another custom like Lego group that did like life-size Lego Mario and Lego Luigi. He had it in front of his store. He had it displayed in his store, and then for an Instagram post, he put the Lego sets in front, took a picture and put it up like promoting the Lego sets. You know, we just got these great sets in, blah blah blah, whatever it was. Well, Nintendo saw it and was pissed because they saw these statues made out of Lego and thought they were missing out on some coin. They contacted Lego and don't know what the conversation was there, but they were so pissed that Lego contacted Bricks and Minifigs corporate and was like, you need to take this down now, or we're gonna send, maybe allegedly send a cease and desist or not. But they needed to take it down like immediately. So then Lego corporate called them, and he had to put down the post. And then there was like this whole little training on like making sure that if you have something custom, to not make it look like it's a official Lego product. And on top of that, it was to make sure that anything related to Nintendo, just take a picture of the set and that's it. Don't do anything more than that. So yeah, Nintendo penny pinchers, bro. And Nintendo has always hated Lego, always. Especially when Lego shoots out a video game, like a Star Wars Lego video game, Nintendo gets pissed because their whole thing is to, like, you know, Mario, Zelda, like catering to kids. And so whenever Lego puts something out, it takes away from their sales. So they're not a fan of Lego at all. But Junie Shoe 6197, good to see you. Ammon is a Book of Mormon name. Yeah, that's where the name originates from. I've seen other people named Ammon that aren't Mormon, which is really interesting. So this claim is 300. The claim is 300 stores, but that would be franchises sold, not all open, and then 10 closed. So that is the total number of operating stores, then 240. Well, okay. Closed is different than unsuccessful, right? So, for instance, like my situation, Crystal's situation, BAM considers that those owners failed, so they took over the store to keep it alive, right? And then they shut down our location. So technically what they'll do is like, oh, no franchise has ever closed down, but corporate locations may have closed down because they're a franchise company. They're not a corporate company. That may have been what they're doing. Dude, great chat. Can't wait for part 3 to come out. I can't wait either, man. Like there's things that are cooking for the future. All right, that are gonna be really good for Ben and all you guys. You know, it's funny. I was in someone's chat the other day, and I went to a Geeks and Gamers meetup, and I got to talk to a YouTuber that I always had a lot of respect for. And I pointed out to him, like, it was great to see this whole RecklessBen thing, because he's like the only person that I ever really, that was in YouTube, that I told, like, oh yeah, I used to have a Lego store, got screwed out of it. And yeah, and then I pointed out, like, I don't know if you remember this, but like, yeah, that whole Lego thing, I don't know if you know RecklessBen, but it's nice to see some retribution, even if it's not directly related to me. And then he started freaking out. I was like, dude, that was you. Yeah, it was fun. I was like, oh shoot, he remembers, because I don't know how drunk he was when I talked to him. The fact that BAM did not disclose Joshua and Brandon were both corporate and franchise owners, creating possible conflict of interest that required disclosure. And that's the other thing. Like, I have a theory that the reason why Brandon was able to do inventory count and not a third party come in was because Brandon was considered the third party. He was a franchisee, but Josh Johnson was the one that was with corporate. And they were business partners in other businesses, but I don't know if they were business partners directly with Bricks and Minifigs together. So therefore, they weren't really associated as a Bricks and Minifigs partnership, from what I could tell. And so Brandon is the owner of the Eugene location, and Josh is going to be the owner of another location, but they're all like connected together. So in some way, shape, form, I don't know. It's really confusing because, like, I saw some of the paperwork and it's just all iffy. And that might be how they got around from getting a third party to do the inventory count. But yeah. So claim 367 not open and 10 closed for some causes. So 233 actual stores. Yeah. So, like, here's the thing. Mine and Crystal's location definitely closed. So that happened. Like, there is no more Bricks and Minifigs in the Land O'Lakes, Lutz, Wesley Chapel, and I forgot the city that's above Wesley Chapel area. Okay. Like my original thought when they were closing it down is like, oh, they probably don't want me involved and are trying to sell the territory to somebody else. Which now with all this coming to light, very, very different. But yeah, Josh said he worked for corporate. Yeah, Josh worked for corporate. Brandon never claimed to work for corporate. Who's at Mr. 223, Rick P? Am I missing something? A theory. I think Josh and Brandon scouted out Salem Bam for a takeover since the 200,000 social media post. That's possible. He was only an hour away, but they both did live in Utah. And again, if you work for corporate, you have access to all the numbers. Like you could see the POS system, like what's going on. So you know the inventory. Like your inventory should be in the POS system. That's the other thing. Like, why aren't we seeing the POS system and when all the inventory was put into the system? That's also the other thing I want to know about and why they haven't posted that. General Schofield, I was actually surprised that I saw Legal Eagle had done a video on Bam. I haven't watched it yet, but plan on it. He does good stuff from what I saw. Cool. It was invented by here. Oh, memorial reference. Okay, guys. I need y'all to keep an eye out for me because I can't do it all by myself. Let me know if there are Lego YouTubers with above 1 million subscribers that are on top of this stuff. That truly are on top of the bricks and minifigs stuff, because it goes beyond all this. And I've noticed a lot of people don't understand business. Like they're like, I can't believe adults are obsessed with Lego. Well, it's a numbers game. It's just product. There's no difference between Lego, a car, a watch. It's just a certain commodity, and there's a certain audience that will pay top dollar for these products. You just have to find that audience. Like I had a customer, he made, I should have just done what he was doing. Like he had no overhead other than his product, and didn't have to pay employees, nobody. He made $35,000 to $40,000 a month reselling Lego. And I'm talking profit, man. Profit. Congrats on monetized. Well deserved. Hey! Nick from Echo Base Network coming in with a $10.99. My man. Yeah, but Rick P beat you to it. He was the first one ever. Always remember that. Too many lawyer congressmen. Yep. BAM disclosures were required to franchisees and as a part of their incorporation in Delaware. Brandon charging for U-Haul trucks with corporate credit cards means he had to be corporate. That means nothing. You can, they could have just given him a card and being like, we'll take care of the expenses because this is going to be a corporate store. That means nothing of what his form of payment that he used to get a U-Haul means nothing in terms of his correlation with corporate. Because I've done it where like, hey, I give my card to my employee and be like, I need you to go do that, get this because I'm waiting for this one meeting, but I also need this done, and then just bring me the receipt. Cool. Doesn't mean that he now has partnership with me. He's just an employee that did stuff, and I gave him my card. Simple. I'll touch base with Ivexi. She covers a lot of different stuff. I'll look into see if she's been covering or not. Okay, cool. Now, Rick POL, Nick, let me stay top dog. I think he did let you stay the top dog. Wait, are you telling them not to send me money, dude? The freak? No, but again, there's a lot of things I think people are conflating just a bit. But overall, like part 3, that's where we're going to get, I guess, the more evidence to solidify Ben and flesh out that he's not the one that put in the threats. That's what is expected of part 3. Okay? Oh, and again, man, I wish I could look back and see what we talked about because I'm having brain fuck. I'm just excited that got monetized. I'm happy. Like, I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm happy. Yeah. freaking hot in here. But yeah, so I did want to point out like prices of minifigs, and this is the other thing. I don't know when they, like, if they update, like, the consignment agreement is really important because sometimes in a month or a season, prices go up. Okay, so like if I was somebody that wanted to put my stuff on consignment, I would go around November time to sell my sets. All right, because if I go during November, then the prices are worth more just because Christmas is coming up, or the sets are worth more, and the prices increase. They do. Look at Bricklink, look at eBay, like they'll increase by sometimes 15 to 20%, sometimes even more. And some people try to get away with double. So if you try to sell your Lego during the month of November, first of all, you're most likely going to sell it much quicker and for a premium price. So you're going to be able to make a decent profit. And also a lot of sets have already retired that Lego still has on their website, but you can't order it because they don't have anymore. And so I wonder if they were playing that game of like, oh, like, is it going to be worth 150 today, but in 3 months from now, it's going to be worth only 120? And are we going to discount that? And did they make an accord with Brian to be able to do that? Because then that means that they could only sell at this price that Brian wants 3 months out of the year. You know, there's a lot of stores that actually do that. So there's a lot of things, a lot of questions that I have about that. But in terms of minifigures, usually the price is, if like that minifigure has been retired for 3 years plus, and there hasn't been a better remake of that minifigure from Lego into a newer set, then it's going to solidify that price like forever. It's going to be that price forever. The cheapest Lego minifigures are going to be around $2 to $3, which is your battle droids, and they're going to range from $2 to $3 to $7 on the high end side, and again depending on the season. And so there's 1,200 minifigures unaccounted for. Again, I don't know if he has minifigs that are worth thousands of dollars, because you know the Cloud City Boba Fett is close to $3,000. The gold-plated C-3PO, that, or did he have any of like the really exclusive Lego minifigures, like the metal 3PO that can go for above 10 grand? Like there's a lot of things within a Star Wars collection that's very sought after by like the Star Wars collector community. Even if they're not into Lego, like it's very sought after pieces. Like you have to really, really, really care about being a collector and identifying all that stuff. So that's the other thing that I think as we progress much quicker after part 3, we'll get to see like the actual count, because that's what's been bothering me, is that we don't have Brian Mansell's personal account of all his collection, and we don't have what the bricks and minifigs are all individual, or what all the minifigs are individually worth. Okay, and I think that those are two very important pieces of information that's going to help us get to at least the exact number. And again, regardless of the number, both are life-changing amount of money. Okay. Now, how many years is the Lego scandal going to take in the courts? Okay, well, think about it this way. They've been going at it for around 2 years with all these, you could say, shenanigans or stunts or whatever you want to label it. But all this footage that we're getting now, it's been throughout these past 2 years, right? And ever since the first video, it's only been like a month and a half since the RecklessBen's first video. But I feel like it's progressing at a pretty solid rate, because we're already getting his gag order hearing by next week. By then we'll get part 3, but it also depends on if Bricks and Minifigs wants to settle, because Brian and RecklessBen's goal are very clear. They want Bricks and Minifigs to pay what Brian is owed, and have justice. Maybe even have an apology. I guarantee that he wants an apology for all this heartache. You know, whether they accept it or not don't matter. But after that, we're gonna know if we're actually gonna get anything out of this, like even part 3. Because what if they do come to an agreement? Then it's just over in a month from now. You know, but again, it's a lawsuit. It could drag on for years, and that was one of Bricks and Minifigs' threats to Crystal. And I'm not even talking about Crystal's lawsuit, because that could go on for a long time. But remember the phone call that they had, like the guy claimed over the phone that they're gonna drag this out. It's gonna be a long time, and they're gonna wait till they run out of money. Many companies have done that. And that's what's scary about going up against a big company. Like this is why I think RecklessBen is so brave to do what he did, because he wasn't expecting the GoFundMe to blow up, to get past 200. He was hoping it reached that number, and then it went way past that. But he was doing it because he felt like it was the right thing to do. And he did it well, right? He got the information out there. So, you know, like now they have enough money to last a pretty long time if they need to. Like 500,000 is no joke, because it's not like, oh, now because you're rich, like they're gonna charge you way, way, way more. It's like, no, like whatever the agreement was, that's what the lawyers are gonna charge him, and they're gonna go after it. And apparently, from what I've been hearing, he's gotten some really great civil rights lawyers. He's gotten like the top in the country. He's also gotten a lot of like good defense lawyers. But yeah, I just, you know, Rick P, I get what you mean, that you hope that it doesn't end in an as like anticlimactic, but I hope it just ends to the benefit of the rightful parties, of the people who are innocent. And I believe it's Brian Mansell and RecklessBen. So I'm okay if it ends anticlimactically, if they get true justice, if they get what is owed to them. Because I'm not, like, as entertaining as all this might be, this is still people's lives that are being messed with. It's still people's real people that are facing real jail time. So, like, I hope there is a settlement. I hope all this gets cleared for the proper parties and they get paid. And they get paid rightfully so throughout all this emotional damage that's been caused. So, you know, like, I get it. It's fun to have entertainment and keep going, but yeah. And then if it ends up in some entertaining galactic explosion, great as well. You know, it's just more entertaining for us. Ben had a goal of only 125,000. Yeah. Discuss the minifig 2 days list and valuation. Yeah, so go check out Echo Base Network's video. They talked about the minifig situation, because again, there's so many things about minifigures that you could pull from. You know, like there's also, have any of these minifigures been appraised? There are like rare things like factory misprints that make the minifig that much more rare and collectible, and the price just skyrockets. So there's so many things with it that the minifig prices can really make it, even like with 1,200 minifigs, like if they're all like rare, you could put it past 200,000 easily. You know, like you could take 5 minifigures that are like the top rare ones, and boom, you already got $20,000 in your pocket from like the Star Wars ones, like, or who knows how many Cloud City Boba Fett's he had from the first Cloud City set. Like, dude, I had people just like walk in and just want to show me their $3,000 minifig, and it was awesome. But yeah, which actor would play RecklessBen? he would play RecklessBen. Okay, Mirinth, welcome to the stream. My theory is that even if Ben and Brian win the case, Bam has built so many shell companies and LLCs, they won't have to pay much. And is that justice served? Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. I don't know if I said hello to Dave Keenan. Welcome. They got good lawyers. So right now, it's not like they're suing individuals LLCs. Remember, Bricks and Minifigs is suing Ben. Like, Ben has 6 lawsuits against him, right? So when they win, he's not going to have the same confusion as which LLC to sue. All right? And I'm pretty sure there's going to be I'm pretty sure with the lawyers that Ben has, they're going to make sure that they get paid. So, like, people underestimate Ben quite a bit. Like, I think that's why this has gone so far, because remember, there was like 6 YouTubers, all collector type YouTubers that Brian was dealing with first to help him get his Legos back. And then Bricks and Minifigs caught on and sent out a cease and desist. And then they saw RecklessBen doing all this stuff, and they were like, it's just a kid. You're just trying to get a TikTok video, whatever, screw him. And then, it kept going and going and going. And they severely underestimated Ben. Like, yeah, Ben, he's a dude that's makes mistakes. Welcome to life. That's all of us. But he has a different type of intellect, a very creative intellect to get justice, because that's what he's about. That's right now, from what we could tell, his life's work on YouTube. Okay? So don't underestimate Ben. He most likely has some things cooking. Most likely does. No, dude. Or Miss. I'm guessing it's Miss. Yeah, I try to read it. Like, you should have seen one of my first streams about this. I was just reading the chat. And I have fun. I have fun talking to you guys. And I'm going to bounce between topics because I do have this fresh in my mind. You guys aren't here for this, but I watched House of the Dragon Season 3, Episode 1, and it was abysmal. And I just want to put my mini review out there. It freaking sucked, and I think I'm done with House of the Dragon. Yeah. The dude making out with his mom, whack. Having a battle off screen, whack. The way the battle continued and the stupidities behind it, ridiculous. Insane. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm done with House of the Dragon. That sucked. I can't believe I stayed up to watch that BS because it was right after the stream, and I was in shock of how stupid everybody was acting, like a Clubfoot and just everybody. Like, nobody acted like, and then Rhaenyra is like the worst character of all at this point. Like, we're supposed to be rooting for her. She's supposed to be the queen, but she would make a terrible queen. She would just freaking ruin everybody's life. And she's just stupid. And the last good character, like good in the heart character, good guy, gets killed. Who cares anymore? Who the hell cares? Now I'm just watching a show full of bad guys. I'm done. And it's a crappy show at this point. It's freaking terrible. Probably one of the worst episodes of House of the Dragon. So that's my review. Like and subscribe. F House of the Dragon. I'm done. Suck. Back to Bricks and Minifigs. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was sitting and I was just like, what? Dude, thank you. How do I say your name? Ren Palak 6048. I'll just call you Ren. Thanks for coming on the stream. Thank you. 10 super chatted $10. Congrats on getting monetized. Thank you for speaking out and for speaking your truth. You're welcome. Did you watch Project Hail Mary? Man, let's see. How do I explain this? First, no, I wish I did. I was really looking forward to it. But I think when I was going to buy a movie ticket, it wasn't that it was sold out. It was just the movie theater that was having issues that was close to me. And then I was going to go another day, but then my job called me in and I was like, freak, can't go. So till this day, I haven't watched it, unfortunately. But I hear great things. It was like the one movie I was looking forward to. It was the one that like the trailer actually did something for me. But yeah. And by the way, I freaking had to, since I got monetized, I've gotten so many like, oh, this video can't be monetized, this one, which I've already disputed in the past, and Project Hail Mary was one of them. And I don't know how to like win. So yeah, I have to, anything I'm going to do a reaction to, I'm going to be very careful in the future about it. But yeah, mind programming, bad guys are good. What are you talking about, man? I like Lego, but I buy off-brand Lego sets. No, dude, don't do that. Just get the instructions and go buy Lego, bulk Lego. It's so much more fun getting pieces and then just building it. Okay, it's awesome. One of my, like, a lot of people, a lot of not only bricks and minifigs owners, but a lot of just brick and mortar Lego resellers hate buying bulk. I always loved it. Yeah, it's dirty. You got to clean it. You got to take it to the wash, everything, make it brand new, scrub it, all that stuff. But you can find some gems. I actually did find a $1,000 minifigure in there once, and it was great. It was great. Blasphemy. Or what, you like House of the Dragon or off-brand Lego? Because I'm sorry, man, there's no way that episode was good. If you're talking about House of the Dragon, there is no damn way, Rick P. I respect you, and all opinions are welcome here, even if they're dead wrong. But yeah, no. But if it's about off-brand, then you're right. You mean to tell me Gru is a bad guy? Dude, it's crazy how bad the majority of content has become in recent years. Are you talking about me, dude? Because, oh, that's the other thing. I, hopefully in the future, I will get to Lego. Okay. Well, I need PCs to like it. So, my bad. And encoding overload, considering video settings. How the freak do I do that? Can I do that? Encoding. I don't know what has. Okay. Hold up. I can't even turn it down. F you, OBS. Maybe next time I'll go out on StreamYard. It's been pissing me off. Good lord. But we got monetized even with a crappy computer. Probably can't even melt them for good welds. Yep. Well, like, they never stick together. You have to always keep crushing them down. Look, there's if you guys ever want to do your own projects for Lego, there are there's a website called Rebrickable. They have their own instructions. And it's pretty freaking awesome. Like, they do some good work. And taking proper Lego pieces. And by the way, my favorite company that does Lego but isn't associated with Lego, they do their own sets. They do life-size sets. Bricker Builds. That's where this comes from. This is actually Lego. And I'll show you guys again. Can you tell? Same size? Here. Pretty freaking sick, huh? And they do like different types of oh, no audio briefly? For real? Damn. Look, I will figure all this out. Hopefully by the next stream. But I've been dead. Okay, is the audio back? Is it back? Are we good? You hearing me all right? I gotta move less. That's my Brazilian Italian blood in me. It's always moving when I talk, move my hands and everything. Damn. But hopefully the audio's back. Scene and instruction set. What? What do you mean? Well, go to brickabuilds.com. They have life-size Lego, like Darth Vader bust, clone trooper helmets, Darth Maul bust. They have the Zelda or Link's shield life size. They have Captain America's life size shield out of Lego. All that. It is awesome. The new audio thing sounds like it might actually be an internet. Probably is. I did hear from other people that there was other connective issues, and I think there was like a YouTube update. They sent me a message about like I won't be able to do certain things. There's like updates that they're doing today, and so that's annoying. But yeah, so I don't know. A few other YouTubers I talked to, they told me that there was issues with the YouTube website and doing streaming particularly, because a video you could just record it and you're not using the internet. You could just use the camera, and then editing is different. But unfortunately, I just edit from my streams. So if you guys just see my Game of Thrones review, it's just gonna be out of the stream. It's gonna be like a minute long, as you saw. But cool. Back to RecklessBen and the Brandon and Josh. Like, the reason I say Brandon and Josh is because I think their names are not in it enough. Obviously, as much as I don't like it, Brandon was smart. He stayed quiet. He has shut up. He has gotten his lawyer. He has not said a damn word. But Josh Johnson, that's the guy I'm looking for the most to be freaking crushed. I freaking despise that human being, dude. Just a despicable, disgusting thumb of a person. Like, what the hell? But there's always YouTube issues going on. It's part of being on YouTube. You expect it and move on pretty much with most people. Yeah, but like, I'm providing content to you guys, and I want it to be good. So, but also I'm working off a laptop that has like 8 gigs. And trust me, I deleted like everything and it still has 8 gigs. Yeah, like everybody's been telling me to get a PC, but I don't have like 2 to 10 grand to shell out. And if I did, I'd have to have like 20 so that I can do stuff for my family and all that. Like, I can't just drop like 5 G's on a PC, even though I want to. Never even had one, actually. For the most part, your video has been flawless, including the audio. However, there was just a couple of moments, about 3 to 4 seconds, where the audio was either broken up or missing. Yeah. Okay. But back to freaking Brandon and Josh again. Like, I still believe that Brandon has ownership of the Eugene location, and just like he did with allegedly that U-Haul, when they owned my store, every time we got in a trade, we'd had to ship it out to Eugene. They'd call in, they'd see the trade on, and again, they have access to the system. They know the trade that came in, and then they would just freaking send it. They would force us to send it over, and money from the safe. So yeah, they definitely got some freaking product over there that they shouldn't have. But yeah, like, oh, and I wanted to ask you guys, like, who else do you want me to interview about my situation particularly? I always ask them about RecklessBen stuff, and I'm gonna try to get some people on, but there's only like 1 or 2 other people that I think would have an interest. Carl being one of them. He was the manager that was hired by Brandon and Josh, and like they flew him out and everything, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he'd be able. He won't be here in person. If he'd be okay with a Zoom call or anything like that, or StreamYards or whatever. But yeah, it was theft. It was legal theft. What they did to me, apparently. But yeah, but regardless, like this one thing I do gotta thank is RecklessBen because I wouldn't have found you guys. I wouldn't have been able to talk to Echo Base Network, or at least through this route. And shout out to Echo Base, shout out to Camelot. They're the 2 people that, and also Toy Bounty Hunters. They are the ones that, invited me onto their channel. They thought I was cool enough to hear out my story. And again, forever grateful for this journey. Like, it's been great getting monetized, having 2,000 subscribers, you know, live streaming to a live audience. And I'm going to mix in the content. My live streams will be one day about bricks and minifigs if I have something to say. If it's just like today, I just wanted to remind everybody of why part 3 is so important and how we could keep it alive, and the things that I've been looking for and I've been hearing about. And then if I have any updates, I'll definitely let you guys know. But then the other side is like, I will still keep doing content. So like my regular scheduled programming. So tomorrow I'll be at 9 p.m. my time. I'll have the Daily Drive show. It's a show that we do on Wednesdays on my channel with me and a YouTuber called Pajinha Daily. Known him practically my whole life, and he's gonna do more of like a car/fitness channel. And he's just starting, and we just talk about cars and have fun in relation to life in cars and how to be the most optimal in that sense. But yeah. But anyway, dude, you guys would love Carl. I think he's like 73, 74 now. 74 probably. He is awesome. Yo, Sue5111, congrats on getting monetized. Thanks for sharing your perspective. $20. That is what is up. That is what's up. Thank you so much. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. I'm very humbled by everybody that thinks my content is good enough to for you guys to give a little bit of your hard-earned money, or a lot of, because $20 is no small thing. So I really appreciate you guys. Awesome. Like man, you know, like I hesitate putting $20 in my gas tank. So I really truly respect and appreciate all the love you guys have been sending my way. Thank you so much. Yeah, shout out to everybody who's super chatting. Shout out to everybody who's just talking, who's just hanging out. We're chilling. But yeah, so the other thing is the American Fork Police Department. That I'm very much interested in. Again, shout out to the community. I want to know what's freaking going on over there. Now, here's the other thing. I'm sick of it, but you know, everybody has their right to speculate or talk about whatever they want to talk about. But I find it so interesting that so many people only talk about like, oh, Mormon Mafia or like that's all they're attacking. They're not even caring anymore about the RecklessBen. As soon as they hear like Mormons were involved, they just hate them. And I'm just like, dude, like, okay, like whatever experiences you had, like you have every right to hate whoever you want to hate. But like, and it should be investigated, no problem. But at least mention the RecklessBen situation. Mention the freaking $200,000 of Lego. Like, mention the lawsuits. Like, what are we doing here? Are we only gonna, like, we're just gonna focus on something we hate and then just like it's insane. That's like, because they hear something that's associated, now they're like, they want to put out all these conspiracy theories, all these thoughts of theirs, and it's like, all right, like that's cool and all, but damn. Like, that has nothing to do with the situation. You just heard this name and then a light went off in your head and you're just like trying to freaking go after this thing, and it's like, yeah, I don't get it. Lagging, my bad, dude. My CPO is super high. Give me one. I'm gonna disconnect the Wi-Fi from my phone. See if that will help. I guess that helped a little bit, maybe. Is doing live stream about the American. So, maybe in the next. By the way, don't forget to like. Okay, sorry about the lag. Actually, that might be here. Let's raid them because they're doing an awesome job. Let me get the toy bounty hunters. Here, give me 1 second. I am going to put toy bounty hunters in the chat, and we'll end it there because obviously this thing is freaking out on me. And I will be over there. Hee hee. Son of a bee, dude. Shut up. All right. Here we go. I'm going to put it in the chat. They most likely are trying to steal the internet, dude. The freak. Okay. Is it still lagging like super hard? It looks fine. But yeah, we'll probably end it at the 2-hour mark, and I will send you guys over to them. I'll put it in the chat. As we watched random YouTubers, let us please try not to believe everything we hear. Let us use sound judgment and listen to reputable people. We also have lives and can't watch everyone. Put what? You go cattle. All right. So yeah, that's actually a good point. I'll kind of leave it with that. Like, guys, there's a lot of misinformation out there. Even like Crystal messaged me on the comments, and she didn't DM me or anything. Like I got some freaking stuff wrong on the stream. Even on Toy Bounty Hunters, and I had to apologize because I don't want to hurt her case. I don't want to put any misinformation out there. So it's very, very difficult to keep up with everything. Oh, by the way, Memorial Rifle, I bought a Siberian Husky from Wyoming like 7 years ago for my parents. And that was awesome. Wyoming is great. Just too much snow for me, too much snow. But yeah, there is so much information out there. There's people with just opinions out there, and I get it. If you like certain YouTubers, I'm not saying for you not to listen to them. But remember, like, those who are really reading documents and putting stuff out there and asking the right questions, doing interviews, those are the people that, like, it's really good to listen to. Somebody I think that's doing a great job is Echo Base Network. And it's not because they invited me on. They got that one dude that got his phone taken away to interview. You know, they interviewed me, who I actually owned a store. They've been really like digging deep, like they actually care. And so does Camelot. He's been also listening to like the legal YouTubers. He invited me on. He's been really on top of it, you know. But how did Bricks and Minifigs screw you? You're gonna have me tell the story all over again for 30 minutes? Well, quite simply put, all right, I'll try to condense it to 3 to 5 minutes, okay? Everybody's kind of already heard the story. But Redzutsu Ronin. So Ronin, this is how they screwed me, right? I bought a corporate location. I was the first one to actually buy a corporate location. And as far as I know, I'm the only one that like actually bought one. The other ones that took over corporate locations, they were store managers first and then were offered the location. So I bought one. Had to build up its reputation. In my opinion, it was a very successful store. But then when we went to the second location, when we moved locations, there was like they wouldn't let me bring on an investor, right? And I wanted to turn it into $1 million store, and I had this huge marketing campaign plan that I wanted to do, and then we had certain agreements of like, you know, I don't have to pay royalties for 2 to 3 months because I could use that to put into marketing. or I'm gonna make a massive sale to put into marketing, that kind of stuff. And then there was like 2 massive hurricanes. So all the money I invested for marketing for those 2 months, because like for a month and a whole month, like pretty much we had to have multiple days closed. The roads were flooded. Employees couldn't get to the location. I couldn't even get to the location, and we had like practically no sales in a month. And so I was like, look, in order for us to become $1 million store, like our store is on the right path, but it's just like I'm worried that like if something like this keeps happening, I won't even be able to pay rent next month, you know. But if nothing happens, we could go for a long time and it's fine, but there's not going to be a nice solid trajectory. Oh, Tony, have a great night. And thank you, man. Thanks for the congratulations. So then I called him and I'm like, okay, here's my plan. I sell the store to you, to corporate, to Matt and Ammon, is who I was talking to. And then you sell it back to me once you invested money into marketing, because the store is just ready to go. It's all perfect. All it needs is marketing. That's it. That's all I want. And I'll stay on as a manager, blah, 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 blah. And then they introduced me to Josh and Brandon, who were labeled as store rescuers. They pretty much just came in and sent me a termination letter, and then I was screwed out of all the money I've ever invested. It was no longer mine. Then I tried to get a lawyer, ran out of money, so that lawyer was done. And then when the day they closed it down, they kept my name on the lease, and I've talked to them multiple times, begged them to take my name off the lease. Every time I found out it was on there, and as soon as they were off as personal guarantors, they left me with a lease which would have put me $500,000 indebted to the landlord. And so they tried to really destroy my life. And then me and the landlord, we had multiple conversations, and it went down to the biggest blessing, which they just who's Cristiano Ronaldo from Timu? Is that me? I'm better than Cristiano Ronaldo. Not at soccer. Football. But what he did was, like, he was just like, hey, you've always been honest, and I'm not here to ruin your life, because if you file bankruptcy, I can't get nothing. And so, man, you have no money for me to get anyway. So how about you just go clean? Like, I'm guessing that's his thought. It's not really what he said. But he was like, hey, you've always been honest in your dealings with me. The only people I've had problems with was when these guys took over for the past 7 months, and they've always given me issues. But you know what? Why don't you go and clean the location, and we'll call it even, because I could always find another tenant. And I'm like, sick. And I cried, prayed for thanks, all of that stuff. But yeah, that's how, in a nutshell, they screwed me over. If you go on Echo Base Network's channel, I give more details of my story, and I also on Camelot 331's, I also give more detail to my story as well. But yeah, they try to ruin my life. And then the Lego community didn't help at all, other than my customers. They were awesome, nice people. But yeah, anyways, okay, all right, everybody, sorry for the lag. This was a pretty abrupt stream for me. Like, I just wanted to kind of rant a little bit. So I thank you guys for coming on. You know, had so many things on my mind, and again, I'm dying. So I always do better when I'm like talking to someone, because we go back and forth. And I will be going over there on Toy Bounty Hunter. So let's raid them. I'll put it here in the chat. Give me uno segundo. Right there. There's the link. And thanks everybody for the super chats. Thanks for everybody who stuck around. It was the landlord that made sure I didn't have to pay the $500,000. But yeah, and Ronan, just so you know, not less than 2 weeks ago, Bricks and Minifigs called me and threatened me. And if you haven't seen RecklessBen's response to the American Fork Police Department, I'm in that video for like 5 seconds, 3 to 5 seconds. So that's how they found out that I was telling my story. I guess. Actually, no, I don't think they knew, because they said if I get myself involved, then it's not going to look good for me. And I told them over the phone, well, I already involved myself, so you can suck it easy. You can't stop me from telling my story. So, yeah, are you considering opening your own store where you manage on your own? Dude, it would require a lot of money. A lot of freaking money that I do not have. Like, they left me with nothing. Like, nothing. And honestly, like, and every donation that everybody's been put out here, like, it's actually helped quite a bit. It's been awesome. So thanks again for the super chats. Thanks again for all the support. Like and subscribe. I will see you guys over on Toy Bounty Hunters channel. Here it is again. Go raid them. Tell them Last Relic sent you. But yeah, they're talking about the American Fork Police Department, and we are out. We are out. All right. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.